So I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about, because I'm fortunate enough to be able to do this. Come here. I'm fortunate enough to be able to do this, but there's people in many places in our world who aren't fortunate enough to do what we take for granted, and that's about eating. Now, our parents or grandparents' generation, as a matter of course, every time they ate food, they said grace. Now, what is saying grace and what is its purpose? So I've been praying over this, doing some research, and basically saying grace, been thankful and grateful. For a Christian, it just serves as a daily reminder of how great God is. It's an intentional pause to recognise God as a sustainer of life and to sanctify the mundane act of eating. And this is why it is so important. Firstly, it's following the example of Jesus himself, yeah? So, before the feeding of the 5,000 in Matthew 14:19, and at the Last Supper, Matthew 26:26, Jesus prayed to his Father in heaven before that meal. And it was an act of praying that provided the wine at a wedding feast, for anyone who knows that story, who's familiar with the Bible. So praying is just what Jesus did. And we can't all do what Jesus did. None of us are good enough or pure enough to be like Jesus. But we can do some simple things like praying during the preparation of and during the eating of the food that we get. And I know it might be through your hard work, through your wages, but at the end of the day, it's a blessing from God that you're in a position to. So secondly, it's acknowledging God as a provider, which he is. So it just reminds us that food's not guaranteed. It's not a guaranteed right, but it's a good gift. That's in James 1:17. It's provided by God. Yeah, so just being humble. Thirdly, the spiritual significance. So sanctifying the meal. So prayer, come here Daisy. Sorry, my dogs. So prayer sets food apart, asking for God's blessing upon it. Some interpretations focus on praying for the food to satisfy and safely nourish the body. And it does give you spiritual protection. So people talk in this country a lot about halal food and we don't know what it is. Well, firstly, everybody knows it's about how the animals are killed, isn't it? Yeah, they let the lifeblood out of the animal by cutting its throat while it's still alive, and that's how the animal dies. So that's one part of halal food. The second part is they say prayers. Now these prayers These prayers ain't dedicated to Jesus. They're not dedicated to the Holy Spirit. One moment. So these prayers, what they do when they have halal food, it's not dedicated to the God of the Trinity, is it? Yeah? The Holy Spirit, Jesus and God. It's a different God. And they do that for a reason. And that's why I personally won't partake in halal food myself. Other people are entitled to do that. But as a Christian, as a God-fearing Christian, I won't eat halal food. So what it also does, it's like the relational impact of praying during the preparation and eating of food. How can I put it? It's like a speed bump, innit? In a busy life. So a lot of food's on the go. However, if you take time whilst buying your food, preparing your food. Come here, Daisy. Yeah, mate. While receiving food off your mum or your wife or a friend, it's a time to slow down and show gratitude, not just for the food itself and what it gives you, your body and energy, but also for the relationships around food. So what I'd like you to do, what I'm suggesting for this short video is to do something very simple and very meaningful. So something that the older generation did, and that's to make sure you say grace. You pray, you give thanks during the preparation, during the serving, and during the eating of the food which is given to us. So in a nutshell, this short video is something that I neglected to do as a Christian until I heard people speaking about it, and I've spoken to other Christians about it, and then looking back a couple of generations of grandparents, what people always did is say grace. Yeah, we'd sit down at a table and you'd be thankful for the food that was on the plate in front of you. And even though I'm still in my 50s, I'm not 2 million years old or anything, I'm still in my 50s. Back then, it was the actual cultural norm for people to say grace, to thank God before they ate any meal. You know, and that's something that we've lost. People keep talking right now in the UK about what we've lost culturally. Well, that's something that we can all regain now, today. Yeah, so make sure you pray over your food before you receive it. So pray for the people that you're sharing your food with. Pray for the person who made your food. And most importantly, if you're the person making the food and serving the food, pray God's blessing into that food so it reaches the good people that are eating your food. All right, have a beautiful day.